So yes, another weekend with my main man Suji on Devil in the Detail. So what's up with you? Still
I'm
freezing, I
good. I'm
see.
good.
Still freezing.
Oh, it's a way of life.
Yeah, well, some of us are in much warmer climes,
Yeah,
watching
yeah, enjoying.
exotic things pass us by.
Oh yeah. You are seeing what's the word I'm looking for? You are seeing art, poetry, emotion.
Oh, certainly, certainly. I did enjoy watching Andrea Pirlo today. He's coaching a first division team in the UAE called United Football Academy. So I took time off this evening to watch him at work, and he was teaching free kicks. And as you know, there are a few better exponents of the art than
Oh
the
yeah.
man himself. And guess what? He was still wearing his trademark boots.
The Nike Tempo, is that what
Yes,
they
the
call it?
Tiempos. He was wearing white Tiempos. Like him and Ronaldinho
Yeah.
don't want to give up like their models of boots, do they?
Yeah.
That
I
was
remember
cool.
my dad bought me the Ronaldinho Nike Tempos at a point when I was a kid.
And what did you do with it? Not much.
But I played center back.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, talking about exotic things, I saw something that wasn't really exotic. So, like I saw the video of Mubarak Wakaso and and Nani FC player, he almost killed the kid. And I've got to say, look, Wakaso is my guy. I mean, you and I went to his place, right? Remember?
Yeah, yeah,
He's our guy.
yeah,
But Charlie, Bush League. Bush League. Look, here's my thing on this. If you know you are training with these kids because you want to maintain a certain level, that means you haven't retired yet. So you're looking to maintain a tempo and an intensity that is close to match scenarios so that in case you get signed, you immediately move into an environment where you don't feel like somebody who is short of match action. And I've seen that video. Look, irrespective of whatever that kid is supposed to have done, and the videos of people have shared of, oh, this is what happened before are inconclusive. It was a good tackle. What he should have done was actually even applaud the kid and say, look, good tackle. The kid caught him on his blind side. For somebody who is that as experienced as Wakaso is, perhaps should have been watching his windows. He wasn't
yeah.
watching his windows.
His awareness was off.
Yeah, he wasn't watching his windows. The kid took the ball from him. It was a clean tackle. I think what you should have done was, yeah, applaud the kid and say, this is what you should do more of. If you are genuinely looking to teach the kids that you are training with. But it looked like he was in competition with the kids. And I'm saying, look, if you are not ready to match the tempo, go train with the ones who don't have that intent. Go train with your age mates, your playmates. You understand? Don't train with players who are active, especially because he was training with Nania FC kids. These are kids who are
Yeah.
playing Division One football. Their training and how their body responds at the moment is that of a team that is in league action. They don't know how to hold back. It's not preseason.
Mm.
It's almost a quarter of the season gone.
Yeah. Well, what week 10, 12?
Exactly. So
We are, we are, we are way through the
these kids are in
season.
good condition. So Bush League for me, I think it was completely unwarranted. It's not a good look. And this is the second time a video like this of him has come out. I remember when he played against Top Scout at Loso Park a couple of years ago and absolutely whacked a kid off the park because the kid had, tackled him hard. And I don't really get these things. Like I said, if you feel you don't want to be tackled in that way, perhaps change the level of preparation you have by changing the training environment. So you're going to play Monday Stars or you play Wednesday Stars. But this thing where, these experienced players who are supposed to know better come and train with active players and they want to bully the players. And I'll tell you a story. 3 years ago, I had a kid, brilliant player, who had just been promoted from the Liberty Academy to the first team. And he had his whole career ahead of him. Philip, blazing quick, skillful. And I used to organize these games with some of these old guys at Ajingano, on the AstroTurf. It was a new AstroTurf then. Sule Muntari used to organize a couple of guys. And we played them twice. The first time, Philip scored 2 goals. The second game, he had already scored 3 goals by halftime. And the goalkeeper, the former national goalkeeper, and the defenders were warning him, you can't stop scoring goals. I'm like, how are you telling a 15 or 16-year-old boy to stop scoring goals and that if he comes again, they will hurt him? And true to his
Oh,
word, the goalkeeper ended the kid's career. The kid put the ball, he came out, the kid put the ball past him and was going to score. He just stomped on the kid's thighs. There was an indent. The kid was out for 9 months, and he's never been the same again. So I'm saying, look, some of these things we might take it lightly, but look, the experienced ones, if you don't feel you can't hang with the youngins, don't hang with the youngins, but don't come and say we're playing a training game and then look to bully the kids and look to have your way. If you don't want to be tackled hard, go play with the old ones. Bush league for me, Waka. So you're my guy. I love you, but Bush league.
But me, my whole thing on the thing is that if it's a bad tackle, as a more experienced player, tell him that this is not what you do. If it's a good tackle, you take it as part of the game and you keep moving, like you said. So for me, and Wakaso, for someone who tackled so hard as a player, you'd be surprised he of all people would kind of, it's almost like we know what you're dishing out. So, and people started bringing some video of him tackling Ashimeru at some point that they claim he made Ashimeru miss the World Cup. I don't even want to get into that, but you see how people started becoming mischievous with it and making you look like, yeah, I mean, it's part of the game. If he didn't injure you and you feel you tackle, tell him that look, this is not how you tackle. You can hurt someone. You are supposed to be a teacher in that moment. Because I think for Wakaso, what was more embarrassing for me is that he dropped down to their level. In the sense that when you are the experienced player, you've had your whole career. Someone does something that you think is wrong. You should be teaching. You shouldn't be kind of in their face coming to fight and that kind of stuff. I don't like you have to see yourself as a senior man. You have to see yourself as the Black Stars player you are, as the experienced pro you are. You can't feel like, as I'm playing with you, I'm on the same level. You still have that gravitas. So if you feel like you've done something wrong, teach, advise. But that's whole gets in your face. Then it's like you're trying to get back at him. Come on.
And like even the video that people were sharing to kind of like give context, which I don't get, because like unless somebody is showing me the full game to say, okay, this happened before this. Wakaso was the one tackling the kid pretty hard. And he was tackling the kid like it was a league game. So if you are tackling the kid at that intensity and the kid catches you on your blind side, I think it was more out of embarrassment than anything that he got caught in that tackle. I
That
think it
one
was
too is
more of
there.
embarrassment. I think it was a bit more
Yeah.
embarrassed. But anyway, Charlie Wakaso, don't do that. Stop it. Teach the kids like Susu said. Otherwise, Monday starts, Baolishi is waiting for you. But speaking of other things, the Black Stars were in Asia. Susu played Japan, played Korea, lost 2. Let me ask you 3 key takeaways from the game. Was it useful?
No.
Oh.
The reason I say this is that
why are you this person? Why are you this person?
No. You see, it's a complicated international football is complicated because of the fact that players are often going to prioritize their club unless it's a qualifier or a tournament. Even tournaments, we saw Joe Matip retire from Cameroon football so he could, play for Liverpool because he didn't want to miss games and that kind of stuff. He made a choice. He made a business decision. So the reason I say this is that when you have a squad that is so depleted, right? Because we kind of did a lot of chopping and changing with our squad. You take a squad that's very depleted, you go and play some matches, you don't get a result. For me, I don't think we got the full use out of the international break. I don't want to blame Otto Addo because it's easy to blame him for a lot of things. And there's a lot of things I can blame him for. But this time, I think he's innocent because generally speaking, when you look at the squad, a lot of players were missing. So it was mostly, if you think of, maybe it was useful to him in the sense that he got to see what some people can do in certain positions and how he can use them. So that's fair. But generally speaking, because of the amount of chopping and changing, how much chemistry can these guys even build? Because if you are bringing guys into the squad and you want to see how they can play, and they are not playing with the guys who will definitely be in the squad, because I think if you play a Black Stars game, we don't see Kudus. Semenyo too pulled out. You don't see who else? Jiku. There's a lot of key guys who should have been there who were not there. So it's like for you to get into the flow of the game, how you would actually play with your teammates, some of those guys need to be there. But I also understand the other side, whereas these guys, it's a long season. This international break, quote unquote, doesn't have value to them in the sense that we've qualified. They know they'll be on the plane unless something catastrophic happens. So they also don't want to play in these friendlies. So I think Otto Addo is stuck between a rock and a hard place where if you use some of these key players and something happens to them, they'll say, why did you waste them on these useless games? But at the same time, you need them present to actually try and see the integration of these new players into the squad. So I think for Tuado, it's not his fault because there's a very good case made why the key players shouldn't play. But if the key players also don't play, it's difficult for us to say, okay, this is what the team will look like, and these are what these new people can bring in certain roles. So that's why I don't think it was useful. And like I said, it's not his fault because if you're Kudus and you were kind of injured before the international break, you're not going to come to the international break at half fitness to come and play these friendlies, which, let's be honest, in the grand scheme of things are meaningless because this is basically a training camp, if you can put it that way.
Yeah.
This international break, for us at least, if you're Nigeria and DRC, there was something on the line. So people would have been willing to risk their fitness to play in these games. But for us, this is more of a training camp situation. So you can understand why players pulled out. Look at how people were kind of, I saw some kind of people on Semenyo's case that he pulled out and then he went to go and propose and stuff. But really, if you're a Premier League footballer, which weekend are you even going to get to propose if not this weekend where you don't have games? Seriously, you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we also have to be fair that a lot of these players, they don't get that many breaks. And if you are someone who plays every game, look at Semenyo right now. Right now, he's one of the stars of the league. He does not get too many breaks. So Bournemouth too are thinking about his fitness. He's thinking about his fitness. So I just feel bad for Otuado because I'm sure he learned something. I don't think he learned as much as he could have. And I don't think we also learned as much as we could have. So I
Well,
think it's not his fault, but it's just the nature of international football sometimes. Maybe if there was something to play for, maybe if there was kind of like, okay, you are playing for seeding. Let's say they know you've qualified, but if we win these two games, maybe we move from pot 4 to pot 3. So there's some incentive for the players to play. We might have learned a bit more. But I think some of the players who came in, obviously, some people impressed, some people didn't impress. You know how these things are. Everybody and what they were looking for.
yeah.
But
Well,
I feel like international breaks like this are difficult.
I think Prince Kwabena Edu, for instance, gave a good showing to say, like, look, I could be an option. And if you look at the level he's been playing at the past year, I think this was a positive trip for him in terms of
Yeah.
the 1.5 games that he got. He showed that he has something to offer. And if you look at
He's
what,
the one who kind of rode the keeper but was offside, right?
yeah, yes, the
Yeah,
striker,
so
the Victoria Pilsen striker, and he's been playing Champions League and Europa League football for the past 2 years. So he's
yeah.
competing at a very high level. And last season in the Champions League, he scored goals. In the Europa League, he's scoring goals as well.
And I
So,
think I saw something like he's scoring quite a bit in the Czech league as well.
oh
So
yes.
he's doing
So
well for sure.
I think he showing up was good. And what the one then can do is to picture his role and what he can do when he has a full strength Ghana team, a full strength midfield playing behind him and serving him hot dishes in front. So I think for him was a good experience. What wasn't a good
Yeah.
experience were the Ghana kids who were added to the squad. I think it served no purpose at that point because we know Kelvin Nkrumah isn't going to be a part of the Black Stars at any point. Perhaps it was a good blooding in experience for him, maybe because he gets to play for the Under-20 or he gets to play for the Galaxies or something. But I don't think it
Mm.
was really good for him. It was good also for Benjamin Asari's confidence. For those of you who
He saved the penalty, I saw.
yeah, it was good because people had asked
Mm.
whether he can rise to the occasion, outside of Ghana and so-called top tier teams. Nobody's
Mm.
talking now because before the game it had been said Korea and Japan were top tier teams. He gave a pretty decent account of himself in front of a very large, very hostile home crowd. So I think Joseph Annan also did himself some credit. We lost against Japan, but I think that he showed he has capacity to add a bit to the team when the moment presents itself. Apart from that, yeah, I'm kind of with you. Somebody who might have done himself a big disservice is Kamal Dean. I think he will end up playing himself out of that World Cup squad. A lot of people seem to think he's a sure banker. I don't think so. I think he plays one of those positions where Ghana has a lot of rising young talents. You have like somebody like the Red Bull boy, Bedu. He
We have
plays
a lot of wingers and
he
attacking
plays
midfielders.
wide,
So you are, yeah.
So if Otto decides also to say, okay, Callum, to hell with what everybody is saying in Ghana, Hudson-Odoi, come play for me. That's a very strong name to compete with, whether we are happy with it or not. So there are a couple of very strong options that could come in
Unless
there.
he has a very, very good season for Atalanta, which makes it difficult despite the poor performances for the Black Stars. I think that's the only thing that can save him
Yeah,
because
but the thing
his
is,
Black Stars
what exactly
performances
does he
won't
offer
save
the
him.
Black Stars? What exactly does he offer?
But that's exactly my point, that if his Black Stars performances are not good enough, if we are being honest, because I think since the last World Cup cycle to now, I don't think we can name 3 good games he's had
Yeah,
for the Black Stars.
and for me, my difficulty is his inability to put all the tools together. He's got tools,
Yeah.
but they are a mishmash of things and they are in different bags. And he always seems to bring a different bag. He's never been able to put all the tools in one bag, to give us a total picture. So I think this wasn't a very useful trip for him. But hey, like you said, I kind of agree with you on there wasn't much that Otu could have done. But Frenchwood said something that I kind of agree with. We need to start building a winning mentality for the Black Stars.
Yes.
They lose too many games, and Otoado
Which
has
is why
lost
we're
a
in
lot
pot
of
four.
games. Yeah, Otoado has
Look
lost
at look.
way too many games.
No, let's look at the pot four we are in the team that in the
Who are
pots.
who are there? So
Ah,
if,
come on,
if
like
if we are in pot four, name those who are in the other pots.
let me go and look for the pot so that I can just say it. So that because there's some certain nations, with all due respect to them, they are not someone we should not be able to. Okay, right now we're in pot four with Jordan, Cape Verde, Curacao, Haiti, and New Zealand.
Oh,
Right? There's no reason why we shouldn't be with a lot of those, because Egypt, Algeria, Ivory Coast, those are our mates we should be in pot three with,
yes,
right?
yeah,
What I see.
genuinely.
Yeah, we should, because with all due respect to Uzbekistan, no, they shouldn't be ahead of us. No, like, what's
We've
that
got
all
we've got
about?
we've got
Like,
way better World Cup pedigree than they have. And truth be
Panama,
told, here's the thing: a lot of those pot three teams, Ghana will beat them if we face them. You people should not.
exactly.
We will last them well. At the World Cup, we will last them.
Yeah. But me,
It's
the
the
way
pot
I
one and pot two that is normally a problem. As for the pot three,
Yeah,
we
pot,
will
but
last them.
pot one is the elite of world football. So us losing to them, there is no shame there. Pot two is the top, is the tier below. Fair enough. But pot three, I
Give me
think
some of the
that's where
give
we
me some
should
of
be.
the teams in pot two. Let me see something.
Okay. Croatia, Morocco, Colombia, Uruguay, Switzerland, Japan, Senegal, Iran, South Korea, Ecuador, Austria, Australia.
Oh,
We
there
can beat some
we
of
can
these
beat
teams for sure.
Australia. Australia we've beaten at the World Cup. Australia we can beat. Iran we can do a very decent job on any day. Iran, a full strength Ghana, I think easily overwhelms Iran. But here's also the thing. These are some of the reasons why sometimes I I I I don't feel Otado is. I mean, come on.
I think generally speaking, African football is stronger than Asian football. I'm not scared of the Asian teams, generally speaking.
Yeah.
It's
No,
the
but Japan,
European
but
and
but
South
Japan, but
American
Japan
teams
at
who.
the World Cup is a whole different proposition, though.
No, but Japan are the top. Japan and South Korea are the top, European
Asian,
teams. Yes. Just
so it's one of those things where, well, anyway, let's just hope for a decent draw. But I think that
I have the dream draw
outside
already
of
in my mind.
outside of the pool one, pool two, pool three, I'm not really moved
I
by
have my
any of
dream
them.
draw already. I have my dream draw
What's
already.
your dream
They
draw?
should give us they should give us Canada, Austria, Uzbekistan.
Which pot is Canada in?
They are hosts, so they are in pot one.
Such a useless pot. Canada.
Yeah, but pot one, the host go inside. So
I know.
USA,
I'm just
Mexico,
saying.
Canada,
I'm just
uh-huh.
saying. What is
Yeah,
Canada
so
doing?
they are the pot one team everybody wants. Me, I want them. So
Anyway, we'll leave that
they'll
aside.
play their matches in Canada. So yeah.
Let,
So
let's.
Canada,
Mhm.
let's give us Canada, Austria. Uzbekistan. I think that's a very qualifiable group.
Yeah, but Ralph Ragnick's Austria are a very tactically
But we,
complex
but
team.
but we have to put one pot two team inside, and because of the regional balance and things.
Mhm.
So you have to. That's where I think if we get a pot, we are better off with a pot two European team than a pot, than a pot one European team. Because the pot one European teams are France, England, Portugal, Belgium, and Germany.
All right.
So
Let's do this then. So, third phrase. And hey, guys, thanks for watching. You can always hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for always watching. Asusu has a lot of fans. People are always saying that we should do more of this, but we are busy people, but we are trying our very
no,
best.
we're too busy. In fact, they
in,
need to
in
free
two in two
us.
in two very far off places. So
Yeah.
we always struggle to make this work, but we'll promise to do better. So just hit the subscribe button for us. Thank you very much. So to wrap up today's conversation, let's go to Italy. And you have one of your favorite football matches on planet Earth coming up.
I don't know if it's my favorites
I
because
said
I
one of
always
your
have a lot
favorites.
of.
At least it's your favorite. I said one of your favorites.
I have a
You're a
lot of. It
Milan fan.
actually gives me a lot of anxiety. Actually,
Really?
no, you see, because it's the one game that when you lose, it grates at you for a long time. That's the problem.
Okay.
And Pioli has given me PTSD when we lost
Okay.
about 6 or 7 straight. So
But here's the thing. Let me ask you this one quickly. What has Allegri done to Milan that you like this season?
generally speaking, a lot of the games we don't look like conceding. Our last game we kind of threw it away, but when we play generally, we are very solid. Like, and look, I know everyone's always talking about how great Luka Modric is and stuff. We all know his level. I thought as a 40-year-old, I wouldn't see that. But genuinely speaking, most of the matches I've watched, he's been the best player on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
The guy is like, I can't even believe, honestly, he's the first person I think he's lying about his age when he says he's 40. The guy is running around more than all the kids. He looks 25. I'm not even joking. He looks 25. He covers every blade of grass. He's everywhere. Every attack, he's stopping it. So it's like he's added something that we didn't have. So it's like the midfield just feels so secure when he's there. And I think Allegri has figured out a way to get a decent amount of output out of Leao, even though he's not playing wide. He's giving him a bit of a kind
Mm,
of, yeah, no, it's actually
mm,
working.
mm.
You're a Leao hater, I've noticed, but it's
Oh,
okay. Don't
oh.
worry. Don't worry.
I think he reduces overall team effectiveness. Everybody needs a maverick in their team. Balia is not the kind of maverick I would bet my team on. You
Yeah,
go
but that's what we have. So we have to make use of it.
on.
So I think Leao has actually worked better than I expected because I thought him playing in a front two, it wouldn't work for him. It'd be something he wouldn't be able to do. But when he's played, he's actually looked pretty decent.
Mm.
The problem actually is getting the balance between the front two, right? Because funny enough, we look better when Santiago Jimenez plays,
Mm-hmm.
but because he can't score, it's like he's doing everything but score. So it's
Oh.
like you have that lack of goal threat, but the team plays better. When he and Pulisic were playing, I think that was when we were at our best. Because Pulisic, I don't know what he went to go and do on the offseason. He's been very good, but now the injuries have come. Pulisic and the injuries,
Is
so
he
we are
back?
not
Is
really
he back
sure.
for the game?
I believe he should be back
Yeah.
because I believe he went for international
No
break.
duty. I
There
saw him
was
on
some
international
argument
duty.
about whether he should play or not and something, so he should be back. So we'll see who starts because I think Jimenez is out for a few weeks. Maybe Jimenez and Pulisic and Leao will start. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm not sure about Nkunku. I think they've wasted money, but the season is
If
early.
you're talking about wasted money, why are Milan fans up in arms over Estupinian and Fofana? I thought Fofana had been decent, but Milan fans are
Don't
super
don't don't
upset.
don't,
As for
don't
Estupinian,
talk
if they see him, they will kill him. Last week or
don't,
the week, the match week before the international break,
it
all
was
the
I think the
Milan,
Parma game.
yeah,
Yeah,
all the Milan fanzines were after Estupinian's blood. But Fofana, I thought
yeah.
had been decent.
No. Fofana, you see, I think I blame Allegri in a way because this box to box thing he's making Fofana do. Fofana is getting the ball in very dangerous situations, but he's a pure number six. So in those dangerous situations, score the goal he won't do, play the assist he won't do. So he's making decisions that are not in his game and they are making him look bad. That's part of it. And I think also because of the energy he's spending going up and down, he's making more mistakes. Look, the Roma game, he had a sequence here. The sequence was probably the worst 1.5 minutes of football I've seen a DM play before. Reckless, unnecessary tackle. It could have been a red card. He was lucky to get a yellow. You give away a free kick at the edge of the box. You stand in the wall. Your arm is out. Then you give away a penalty from the same free kick that you should have gotten sent off for. Just watching that sequence, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. He was lucky that the penalty was missed and all of that. We won the game. That was the Roma game. So Fofana I think the new rule is he's struggling to adapt. And that's what I believe it is. Because I believe if all he had to do was sit back, break the play, pass forward, not be too adventurous, he'd look a lot better. But once Allegri is asking him to be, because a lot of the time, he's the midfield, he's making the third man run into the box as the midfielder. And that's not his game. So I feel like, to a certain extent, it's on Allegri that Fofana is not playing as well as he can. I think if Fofana's game was simplified, he just does the basics. But Luka Modric is doing Fofana's job 10 times better than Fofana could do. It's not Fofana's fault. It's Luka Modric we are talking about. But it just makes it difficult. Yeah. I feel if Rabiot was playing, it would be fine. Because Rabiot is a proper complete midfielder in the sense of he can be in the box and make those good decisions. He can cover and stuff. So I just believe that Fofana is just being misused by Allegri and obviously it's affecting his performance. And Estupinian's issue is that you're a more experienced player than Batesagi. So some of the mistakes you are making as the senior left back are unacceptable because the 18, 19-year-old doesn't make those mistakes. I think he's maybe 20, but whatever the case is, the guy who is now coming from the B team to come and play his football and now become a member of the first team is not making those mistakes. Or even when he makes one mistake or two early in the game, he recovers. You is like the whole game, you are making mistakes. Because the Napoli game, he got sent off. It was very needless. The Parma game, you also come and make some mistakes. So I understand why Milan fans are on him because you have a young left back who's not making these mistakes, but you, a senior player, making these mistakes. So that's the Estupinian issue. But he's been okay.
And across the border, what about Christian Kivu? What has he done well? Because he seems to have changed things up a bit from what we are normally used to when it comes to how Inter Milan play. But rough start indeed, but they seem to have steadied the ship. And
they seem to be. It seems like because they've rejigged the attack, he's gotten young attackers because Inzaghi had Mehdi Taremi and Arnautovic as his backups. Older guys, and Mehdi Taremi had a lot of fitness issues. It didn't work out. Arnautovic is, for reference, Arnautovic played in the Inter Milan treble winning team. That's how long he's been in this game. So to be relying on Arnautovic in 2025 is difficult. And if we are being honest, if you remember the knockout tie against Atleti a few years ago, where Inter battered Atleti, Arnautovic is why they went out. Yeah. Arnautovic got chance after chance after chance and wasted it. Now they have, I think he's called Boni, the French guy, and Esposito.
Who's doing well for Italy.
Yeah, even Boni is doing very well as well. Those two guys are playing very well. And it makes me wonder, is Thuram a guaranteed starter anymore because of how well those guys are playing? Because we know Lautaro is going to start no matter what. Anyway. So the issue is who plays with Lautaro, what effectiveness, and it gives Kivu a lot of weapons. So for me, I like the way Inter are set up in the sense that they're a bit more dynamic. They have a few more weapons. And I think the midfield too is trying to integrate the youth a bit more because you are seeing the Susic, I believe that's how you pronounce it, playing a lot more, getting a few more minutes. So Kivu is doing things. I think he's rejuvenating the team. It's a tough one to do because of the age profile of the team has had for the last couple of years, but he's rejuvenating the team very well. So I like what Inter are doing because it's good for them, at least. And let's see them compete in Europe because they've been the Italian team that have done well in Europe. So I'd like to see them go far. A nice semi-final will be good for the coefficients, but they shouldn't go any further than that.
Are you backing AC for the win?
You see, I'm happy with Allegri right now. So for the first time in years, I go into every game thinking we'll win. Okay. He's giving me that much confidence. So it's not as rational as it used to be, where I'm like, oh, this Allegri has just given me some kind of confidence and faith. So I back them going into every match. So I'm backing them for the win this time, of course, but it's a derby after all. Anything can happen, but let's see how it plays out.
Well, let's run over across the pond to England quickly. And Manchester City seem to have found their mojo. Although we discussed Arsenal earlier on in the season and Arteta and
Yeah.
why he was so underrated. I think people should go
Yeah.
back and watch that episode. I think it's about the fact that look, people were just underestimating and just hating on Arteta
That's why
unnecessarily.
no, last season and the injuries made people kind of not look at the bigger picture. Because if you have Saka and Odegaard out for most of the season, and those are your chief creators, chief attacking players, you will look bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now look at them. I think right now they fixed some of their squad depth issues. Because I don't think people
Mhm.
are realizing that Arsenal basically had an injury after injury the whole season.
Mhm.
They've basically not been fit most of the season, but they are
Yeah.
still doing very well. The defense is looking very solid. And I think because of the depth now, even though Gabriel is not playing, I don't expect that they'll miss Gabriel in that way. They'll probably miss him more in terms of their corners than they'll
Yeah.
miss him in terms of defending. Because I think Mosquera can do a very good job.
Oh yeah, that kid is good. That kid is
Yeah.
good. At
So
21, and the vision and the bravery to splurge on him at this point rather than wait it out, I think was a master stroke. Good for them also. Piero Hincapi is fit now and is ready to contribute. Calafiori is now looking like the Calafiori we all saw a couple of years ago and has been imperious.
he's playing more like a number 10 than a left back. He's
Yeah,
all over the place.
he's been imperious for them. But let's wrap this up with Pep and the tactical transformation that he is working there and how, it's wearing on the players. Like I've been watching Jeremy Doku this season. I'm like, Kamaldeen Suleiman, are you watching your
Exactly. I
cousin?
was thinking the same thing because remember when they were Ren, very
Right.
similar players, very similar players. Doku is finally taking the next step, and we are still waiting for Kamaldeen to take that step because they are very similar players. I don't
Yeah.
think anything Doku is doing right now, Kamaldeen can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
So I was thinking about him when we were talking about Kamaldeen
but
earlier.
did you,
Actually,
did
I
you,
nearly
did,
even wanted to say it.
but did you think we'll ever come to an era where a Pep team is willing to cede possession as a form of tactics? We've seen games where teams go head to head with them,
I mean,
but to
he did it
deliberately
against
say you
Arsenal
can
this
have more
season.
of the ball, but I'm still going to beat you. Basically, he has a team that is playing a lot of transition football.
But he did it against Arsenal this season. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I think it was later in the game. I think were they trying to protect a lead at the time
Mm-hmm.
before Arsenal scored because Haaland scored early.
Yeah.
Remember, he just said, you know what, this game, forget it. Mid block, let's sit back. This pressing, trying to none of that. So I think Pep, I think people underrate. What was the word I'm looking for? People overrate Pep's philosophy and his stubbornness. He's a he's the ultimate pragmatist, I find, because for him, he finds the best way to defend after you take a lead is to keep the ball. So that's why people think that he can't play any other way. But in Pep's head, if we have the ball, we are playing with it, we are keeping it, we are controlling the game. You can't do anything to us because we have the ball. That's how Pep thinks. It's the opposite of Mourinho, who believes if we have the ball, we can make a mistake. So take the ball and make your mistake and we'll score again. So it's just a different philosophy. I think Pep is more defensive than people give him credit for. He likes to set his teams up in a way to counter the opposition team, keep the ball so that they can't hurt them, and they'll patiently find their opening and score. I think he's a very defensive coach. I think people think of him as offensive because his teams play possession football, but I don't feel that way at all. A coach I would say is an offensive coach who's also a possession coach. Maybe it's Bielsa, but look at the pace Bielsa's teams play with.
Yeah, that is some mad
Yeah,
tempo.
look at the pace Pep's teams play with. Pep's teams are slow, and the reason they are slow is because they're a defensive team. So for me, I think that Pep is more defensive than people make him out to be. And like I said, we are going to see him play more kind of that counter-attacking football now, because if you look at the midfield, it doesn't have those elite ball players anymore. It has a lot of the players they have, when I look at them, their best games is pushing the ball forward, making killer passes. They are not that kind of Rodri style. Because again, Rodri, we are not sure about his fitness now. So I think we'll see a lot more defensive Pep for sure.
And just to wrap up, all this big conversation about Semenyo, Manchester United or Liverpool or where else, where makes sense. I've said I'm hoping Manchester United spend the money in January for Semenyo if indeed there's money to be spent. I don't mind at all
Oh,
Semenyo coming in because especially because we'll be missing a very strong part of
Mbeumo,
Mbumo and Ahmad in the
and
AFCON and
yeah,
Semenyo because Ghana didn't qualify. At least we know for 2 years he's available because AFCON is not happening until another year after that.
yeah.
So every time we miss him will be when everybody else is away. I am hoping Manchester United spend the money. I think he fits the system. High energy player, can play on the left, can play on the right, can get the defensive work done. It's a threat going forward, shoots with both feet. What is there not to like Manchester
Me,
United?
I actually think, also, I know a lot of people disagree, but I think he shouldn't move in January.
What?
I think we've seen too many January moves kill a player's momentum. I think he should play the season out.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I hear, the release clause is lower in the summer.
Yes,
So
it is.
now you are a more attractive proposition for clubs because the transfer fee is lower. Can get higher wages because of that lower transfer fee. And I think if you finish the season with maybe 15 goals and 10 assists or something like that, just to put it out there, the way the rest of Europe is also looking at you now is different. Because other teams will come into the picture be thinking, we also need a winger. Are you an option? Now there's that continent, the continental teams also be looking at you as well. I think right now, even though the Premier League is still the top league, there's still a lot of good Champions League teams out there that might not be clued on to who Semenyo is just yet. So I think he needs to just have the full season, expand his market. Because I don't think that the interest will go away, even if he falls away in the second half of the season. So I think he should just wait it out. I know it's easy to say because you can break your leg in February and never be the same again, and the move
Mm-hmm.
goes away. It can always happen, but I think he should wait it out because I think right now with that Bournemouth team, that's kind of he's the leader of the team, he's the star of the team. There's a lot to be achieved, so I think he should wait it out. If he can get Bournemouth into the Champions League, he looks even more attractive. So I think my advice is to wait it out because your fee is lower in the summer and you have a better bargaining position because teams are all now they have their plans, they are set, they know what they want to do. I think you have more options in the summer and probably better options and a stronger bargaining position if you continue this way.
And I'm more excited about, finally Caleb Irinchi and the links that have been made between him and some teams in April. I think Bournemouth would not be a bad landing place for Caleb. He can learn his trade in the English league under a very good tactician, Iraola. I hope he doesn't go to
I don't think
Arsenal. It's been taking a
Iraola will be
while.
there long. I don't think Iraola will be there long. So
Well, I think at least another year or so would not be bad for him to learn the English game. I think he's one of our best young talents, if not the best young talent we have in our system. I've been screaming for a long time. Take him out of right back, put him in his natural environment, and we saw his natural environment when he went there against Korea. He's a very, very, very good midfielder. I can't wait to see him and Thomas Partey. So, Susu,
I think the
our
truth
time is
is the way
up.
football is now. The skills to play right back are similar to the skills to play in midfield, which is
Yeah.
why he's ended up there. So you could see the talent was there for sure.
Yeah. So, Susu, good doing this with you. We'll catch up again. Don't
No
freeze
problem.
too much until next week.